Hello, I'm John Kreitler. Welcome to This Week in the Markets. On Wednesday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released the May report for consumer prices, the CPI report. Both core and headline CPI came in better than expected. On an annualized basis, CPI is showing a 3.4% inflation rate. Not quite where we need to be for 2% mandate of the Federal Reserve, but better than we've had over the last 2 years. Later on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve announced they've kept the federal funds rate unchanged. In this press conference, Chair Powell talked about being data dependent. He acknowledged that the blip up in inflation in the first quarter of this year and now has been met by a downward trajectory yet again in the progress towards fighting inflation. But he wants to see more months of this downward trajectory before they would think about cutting rates. There is a July meeting for the Federal Reserve. I would expect them to have maximum flexibility in order to get through to September. At the end of August at Jackson Hole, the Fed chair typically has a speech that will table set either changing course in terms of policy or getting the markets to anticipate changes in rate strategy, possibly a rate cut this year. That all remains to be seen. One thing I'm looking at right now is the Longshoremen's Trade Union for the East Coast ports and the Gulf Coast ports. Right now, the contract is over September 30th. Preliminary negotiations have been canceled. Pay, terms, conditions, but also trying to fight automation or make sure that labor is represented with the increase in automation is all going to be part of this negotiation. Any disruption, any strike, any labor shortage and stoppage would have a tremendous impact both on inflation and the labor economy in the third and fourth quarters. I'll certainly be looking at this in negotiations throughout the summer. I'm John Kreitler. This was This Week in the Markets. Have a great week.